Zak Brown sends a warning to his rivals. The Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix will be very important for car upgrades, and Mercedes claims to have found the issues with the W15. Let's get straight into the latest F1 news. Zak Brown firmly believes that the talented Lando Norris is on the same level as Max Verstappen. He thinks that a direct competition between the two drivers would likely result in an unfortunate outcome for one or both of them. Finally, after participating in 110 Formula One races, Lando Norris claimed his first victory. He managed to finish ahead of Verstappen at the Miami Grand Prix. Some may argue that Norris was fortunate to receive a free pit stop due to the timing of a safety car. This allowed him to restart ahead of Verstappen and widen the gap between them during the race. Christian Horner, the team boss at Red Bull, was quick to highlight the damage on Verstappen's RB20, which resulted from an untimely encounter with a bollard. Nevertheless, both Verstappen and Helmut Marko believed that McLaren simply had a faster car on that day. Norris demonstrated his speed by crossing the finish line a remarkable 7 seconds ahead of Verstappen, earning himself a well-deserved victory and garnering positive acclaim. Prior to Norris's breakthrough win, McLaren introduced significant upgrades to the car. They incorporated a total of 10 new parts specifically for the Britain's vehicle. This triumph has ignited excitement among experts, who anticipate more thrilling battles between Norris and Verstappen. Zak Brown is confident that if given equal machinery, his driver could emerge victorious against Verstappen. In an exclusive interview with Motorsport.com, Brown expressed, "I do think Lando can beat Max in a straight fight. It would be an incredible contest, but there's a high likelihood that some races would end in disappointment for one or both drivers." Brown continued, "From my perspective, Lando possesses unrivaled raw talent. While I'm certain Max is equally fast, I acknowledge that not everyone may share this opinion. Ultimately, we won't have a definitive answer unless they compete in the same car." Unfortunately, that won't happen for many years. Although Verstappen is committed to Red Bull until the end of the 2028 season, Norris recently extended his contract with McLaren in January. During that time, he committed himself to a new multi-year deal. When asked about Norris's decision to stay with McLaren, Brown mentioned, "It's important for individuals to show loyalty to their careers, but loyalty can only take you so far. However, Lando witnessed the remarkable progress we made last year. He has faith in Andrea Stella and the entire team. It's like a family to him, and he genuinely loves the McLaren brand." Furthermore, Brown added, "Above all else, I believe he has confidence that we will provide him with a car capable of competing for race wins. Last weekend's victory only further solidified his belief in our capabilities." McLaren emerged victorious in Miami, but according to Damon Hill, Red Bull's speed has not vanished. In fact, the RB20 might even be faster in Imola with the introduction of a very distinct RB20, as Tom Clarkson revealed. Despite Red Bull's recent loss in Miami, it could be argued that this defeat truly reflects their first, unlike the one in Australia where Max Verstappen retired. This time, Lando Norris outperformed the reigning world champion, overtaking him after a restart following the safety car intervention. It is worth noting that the sheer speed of the Red Bull persists. While racing with the upgraded MCL38, McLaren skillfully executed their modifications for the second consecutive year. The British driver climbed from 5th to 1st, securing victory by a remarkable 7-second margin ahead of Verstappen. Hill acknowledges that other factors affected the outcome, such as tire degradation in traffic and the intervention of the safety car. Therefore, he firmly believes that Red Bull has not lost any speed. Expressing his thoughts on the F1 Nation podcast, he stated, "It's commendable that McLaren has made progress, and their pace was evident in Miami. However, now we need to consider a small caveat. It seems that this season, if you find yourself amid traffic or encounter any disturbances with your car, your tires tend to suffer. Thus, being at the front of the pack offers a significant advantage." Highlighting the influence of the safety car in Miami, Hill added, "Given these conditions, the sheer speed of the Red Bull remains intact, and I don't anticipate it disappearing overnight. There might be more work to be done." He continued, "Let's be honest. If McLaren has progressed enough to match the Red Bull's pace, that would be terrific. However, they still have to surpass Max Verstappen." Moving on to Imola, McLaren faces an additional challenge, combating Red Bull's initial batch of upgrades. While McLaren presented substantial modifications in Miami, Red Bull will unleash their development arsenal during the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Ferrari, too, plans to update their SF24. Tom Clarkson highlighted the ever-present threat from Red Bull, recalling Adrian Newey's statement during the first race in Bahrain that the Red Bull would appear remarkably different by the seventh race. As the seventh race approaches, they are introducing new components to the Red Bull. Clarkson shared his curiosity, stating, "What exactly are they going to do? We'll have to wait until the first practice session on Friday to find out." He further explained, "I genuinely believe that this weekend will have a profound impact on the remainder of the 2024 season. Red Bull and Ferrari are bringing in new components, which Ferrari already tested at Fiorano last week. McLaren, of course, has their new bits too, and Oscar Piastri in the second McLaren will enjoy all the upgraded features." Clarkson concluded, "Therefore, the outcomes of this weekend will provide significant insights into how the rest of the season will unfold." Hill responded, stating, "It will be enthralling to see how it all unfolds. Imola is renowned for its high-speed corners, but lacks substantial, wide-radius turns. There aren't many slow corners either, so slippery cars and those with excellent maneuverability should excel." He added, "I don't believe maximum downforce will be necessary. Given the relatively high average speed, I expect Red Bull to perform well. However, the impact of their upgrades remains uncertain for now. We can assume, though, that they will improve performance." And if you are enjoying the video, drop a like and subscribe to the channel for daily F1 content. Mercedes is currently searching for a new driver to replace Lewis Hamilton, who will be leaving their team at the end of the season to join Ferrari in 2025. The team's leader, Toto Wolff, has openly expressed his interest in having Verstappen as Hamilton's successor. However, his comments drew criticism from Oliver Mintzlaff, the managing director of Red Bull. Mintzlaff accused Wolff of lacking respect due to his public flirtation with Verstappen. Verstappen signed a contract with Red Bull in 2022, committing to stay with the team until the end of 2028. Nevertheless, rumors about his future have been circulating, fueled by the internal issues faced by Red Bull this year, including Adrian Newey's decision to depart in 2025. While it seems unlikely that Verstappen will make an early move to Mercedes, George Russell expressed his enthusiasm for the challenge of driving alongside the three-time world champion. Russell shared his thoughts, saying, "I would be fully in favor of it." Joining Mercedes in 2022 after Lewis's legendary years and victories was a tremendous task for anyone entering a team where he has been for so long. "I have confidence in myself, and it's essential to compete against the best in equal machinery and showcase your abilities. Having Lewis as my teammate for the past 3 years has been a valuable experience. He's an incredible driver, and we consistently push each other to our limits every week. So, I would welcome Max as well. I want to compete against the best. Everyone wants to prove themselves, so let's make it happen." Russell also acknowledged the departure of Adrian Newey from Red Bull, saying, "He's someone I deeply respect. He has achieved legendary status in the sport. It doesn't affect our lives unless there's a hidden secret and he ends up joining Mercedes. Who knows? It's remarkable to see such long-lasting loyalty, considering he spent 20 years with the team." Lewis, on the other hand, has been with Mercedes for 12 years. Sometimes people need a change. It can provide a fresh start for both parties involved, and it will be intriguing to see what happens next. Mercedes has identified the reasons behind their struggles in extracting maximum performance from the W15. Toto Wolff, acknowledging their current situation, emphasizes their focused efforts in bringing upgrades to the track to resolve the car's issues. Despite completely revamping their car during the winter, departing from the foundational principles of their previous zero-pod concept, the new W15 has failed to meet expectations. Currently, Mercedes finds themselves trailing behind not only customer team McLaren, but also Ferrari, occupying a distant fourth place in the Constructors' Championship. Meanwhile, Red Bull leads the championship with 239 points, followed by Ferrari and McLaren, both of which have already secured victories this season. Mercedes, on the other hand, has accumulated a mere 64 points. The team is grappling with an inconsistent car that experiences performance fluctuations from one session to the next. Wolff states that they now have a clear understanding of where and why Mercedes is encountering difficulties. The technical team is diligently working to bring upgrades to the track, with relentless dedication and a sense of urgency to address these issues. The design office and production operations are in full swing, undertaking every effort to optimize the car's performance. Wolff expresses confidence in their ability to rectify the situation, stating that they now comprehend the necessary steps to enhance the car's performance. He discussed these matters during his time in Miami, highlighting the accelerated development potential that Formula One offers. Mercedes is wholeheartedly committed to this pursuit, with all factories operating at full capacity to deliver enhancements that they believe will be highly beneficial. While full comprehension is in place, Mercedes cannot rush the process of implementing these upgrades. They need to ensure that the improvements are at the stage where they are deemed ready for production. Once that milestone is reached, or when it has already been reached, the necessary adjustments and organization will be made. However, this process will likely take several weeks to complete. Nico Hulkenberg recently shared that Haas team principal Ayao Komatsu put in a great deal of effort to try and re-sign him. However, Hulkenberg ultimately chose to join Audi because it presented a larger and more significant opportunity. Despite only being 6 races into the F1 2024 championship, the silly season is already in full swing. Lewis Hamilton started the wheel of driver movements by announcing his departure from Mercedes to join Ferrari even before the preseason testing began. Now, as the 2025 grid is gradually taking shape, Hulkenberg has become one of the latest drivers to determine his future. Notably, he is the last to switch teams. Having returned to the grid with Haas last year, the German driver has secured a multi-year contract with Stake, which will be rebranded as Audi from 2026 onwards. Selecting Audi over Haas was not an easy decision for Hulkenberg, especially considering the level of commitment shown by Haas team boss Komatsu. Hulkenberg openly discussed his options with Komatsu a few weeks ago, expressing the likelihood of a prompt decision due to positive dynamics. Komatsu fought hard and made every effort to retain him. However, Hulkenberg thoroughly contemplated his choices. Although Haas provided him the opportunity for his comeback, he ultimately concluded that Audi offered a better prospect for his sporting career. When asked if there was anything Haas could have done differently, given their status as the smallest team on the grid compared to Audi's works team position, Hulkenberg recognized that direct comparisons might not be the most appropriate. Nevertheless, he acknowledged the presence of Haas as one of the 10 teams in Formula One, and it was a factor he considered. Hulkenberg had discussions with Komatsu about the dynamic driver market, where various movements were taking place. He acknowledged the option of staying with Haas, but ultimately decided against it. Reflecting on his experience with Haas in the past year and the current quarter of the season, Hulkenberg expressed contentment with the team. He appreciated the opportunity for his comeback that Haas provided, just as Force India did in the past. Being part of a smaller team, the underdog, gave him a sense of satisfaction in achieving notable results. It created a different atmosphere compared to larger manufacturer teams like Renault. At Haas, the team highlighted and celebrated these smaller accomplishments, fostering a cool and pleasant environment. Hulkenberg described it as a happy and supportive atmosphere where the team constantly strives for improvement. Although different from his previous experiences, it was this unique environment and feeling that influenced his decision to choose Audi over Haas. Meanwhile, Stake has yet to announce their second driver for the upcoming season, although rumors suggest Carlos Sainz will be joining Hulkenberg in an all-new lineup. Kevin Magnuson faced significant backlash due to his tactics during the Miami sprint, but it wasn't only Lewis Hamilton who found his admission of it being a stupid way to race impressive. Magnuson was penalized with 3 penalty points on his super license for repeatedly veering off the track in Miami, aiming to keep Hamilton behind him. By playing the team game and assisting Haas in scoring points with Nico Hulkenberg, the Danish driver acknowledged that his penalties were justified and well-deserved. Although he wasn't fond of resorting to these tactics, Magnuson knew he had to create a gap, similar to what he did in Jeddah, to ensure his teammates stayed ahead. This enabled Hulkenberg to secure the points, while Hamilton and Tsunoda were unable to catch up. Magnuson admitted that this wasn't his preferred style of racing, but as a team player, it was necessary. Magnuson's driving tactics were considered unsportsmanlike, but he managed to escape a charge for his behavior. Despite being irked by Magnuson's driving during the sprint, Hamilton admired the Haas driver's honest acknowledgement of his actions. Hamilton stated, "I think that's pretty honest of him, and I think it's pretty cool." He appreciated the intense competition on the edge and expressed his love for racing hard. Hamilton's perspective on Magnuson's tactics being a means to work as a team made Natalie Pinkham question why anyone else should have a problem with it. Pinkham admitted her surprise, as she was used to drivers defending themselves instead of taking responsibility. As a fan of Magnuson, she found his candidness refreshing. Hamilton's response further astonished her, as he respected Magnuson's honesty and had no issue with it. If Hamilton, a respected figure in the sport, didn't have a problem, then Pinkham saw no reason to either. However, former F1 driver Karan Chandhok maintained his belief that Magnuson went beyond acceptable limits with his actions. Chandhok commented, "I think he was a little bit over the limit, wasn't he?" Although he considered Magnuson's tactics in Jeddah fine, as he stayed on the track and employed clever and tactical maneuvers, he disapproved of the incidents involving Hamilton. Taking another car off the track with him was deemed unsportsmanlike. In addition to his penalty points earned during the sprint, Magnuson faced further troubles in the Grand Prix when he crashed into Logan Sargent, accumulating a total of 10 penalty points. With just 2 points shy of a race ban, the Danish driver must be cautious since he does not regain a point until March next year. Now watch this video next to get the latest news on Red Bull's latest upgrades. See you there.